Hey guys, this is Soumya from Bookfeast channel. Today in this video, we are going to see on the topic Old Man River, which is a drama which is written by Dorothy Deming. So, when you talk about the drama, it is a fine one-act play which includes the three unities of time, place and action, and also it deals with floods and the fear of the characters and the role of Red Cross played in it. When you go for writer's introduction, she's an American nurse and she's famous for writing stories for children. She's also called as the famous children's story writer. And I have divided the characters into two sessions. First one seems to be the primary character. We'll see that while we are on with the play. And the secondary character, in the sense, it is not, these characters have not given us conversation here, but these people were talking about these characters, that is primary characters were talking about these characters. First seems to be Ami's father, who is working in Chicago on business, and second Ami's mother. Ami's mother is accompanied by Dick, Ami's brother, and they were off to town, and they went to Mrs. Brand's house. Towards the primary character, Amy Marshall, 17-year-old girl, and her sister Betty Marshall. Rose Field is about 16-year-old and her sister Sarah is 9-year-old. Jim Hall is the manly character in this drama, who is accompanied by the main role. He is about 17 and he is also the neighbor. Mr. Peters is the member of the Red Cross Disaster Committee, and Penny March, Red Cross nurse. And scene 1 revolves around the timing afternoon in the March, and the setting of the poem is in the living room of the Marshall's home. Actually, not poem, drama. So Amy, Betty and Rose, they are sitting around their living room table and they were talking about the rain and the climate. Betty, she is very interested in picturing the magazine, and it was the stage was not first very clear at all. And Rose, she started talking about the rainy season. She describes how rainy it was and how shade it is at present, and it never looks like a day. So Rose goes on with the conversation where Amy says that no, they have to be prepared to arrange the lights. And Rose, she says, see how it rains, it in sheets, and look, your backyard is a small lake. So this denotes that the rain is very hard and it had never stopped, so that the backyard was like a small lake. And Ami, she was very much glad, but also she was in the fear that this was the third day it is raining. And Betty, she puts her magazine beside and she comes to see the river. So Ami there, she mentions about the river, that is the name of the bridge, that is Thompson Bridge. So the Thompson Bridge has and white line. So white line is basically a line which is drawn in the bank of the river to know the excess and decrease level of the water in the river. Here the water has crossed the white line and it is gonna be a heavy disaster, that is flood, and it must have covered the South Meadows and the highway there. So people, they started giving more preference for the river, and they have started moving from one place to another, but these kids, they have caught in their home. So they keeps on talking about the conversation. And to add more flavor to the injury, Rose, she says that the snows were melting, and in the hills in the northern part of the state, the snows, they started melting and they are adding more water to the place. Then Jim Hall, he enters and he says that the Barnett Dam is gonna give up within an hour, so we have to be prepared to arrange for our own needs. And when when Jim questions about Ami's father and mother, she says that his father is in Chicago on business, and her mother, she accompanied Dick and she went to the dentist. And by the way, while she's returning, she'll be stopping at Mrs. Brand's for asking for a recipe. Suddenly the telephone rings. When Amy picks the call, she comes to know that her mother could not accompany her on that day, and she asks Rose to call her mother and make a call to her mother and say that she has to stay here because it is heavy rain. And Rose, she was very much excited, and the Children, they started gathering pitchers, pails, tubs, and bowls to collect the fresh water, and also they wanted a fresh water to drink if there is no power. So they started preparing for that. Where Jim he came with a lantern. Betty, she comes up with the flashlights, candles, etc. And Rose, she started calling the telephone to the central, where she says, Central, Central, I'm trying to get main 30202. Yes, I can't. So she says that she's calling for the main 3022 and she can't pick the call. So she's keep on complaining. Suddenly, the telephone line is dead. So here they stresses that there is no power and the situation is very worst. Jin, he started making a hurry job where he wanted the people in the home to arrange for the flashlight, candles, lamps, lanterns, and food, etc. Ami again, she stresses on the line. I thought it was just a pool in the garden, but it's. She says that she thought that it is just a pool in the garden, but at present the flood has gone and swallow her own home. So she's very much scared about it. And where Jim, he's giving a hope that he has been working in the Red Cross, Junior Red Cross, and he has the experience to come up every issues, and they have come up with the many obstacles in life, and this is also one such obstacle where they have to prove themselves, and they prepare to save themselves in the attic, because the great bungalows cannot offer them an attic, but a two-story house can better offer them a attic, or if it is not possible also they can stay in the roof. While the conversation goes on, Rose, she enters with the fresh water that can last for a week, and Betty, she comes up with the light, and she asks, Did you say food? So what are you talking about? Did you talk about food?" Suddenly there comes a voice, "Rose." So it is Rose's sister Sarah. But suddenly Rose, she says, "Though this is Sarah, but where she is?" Then people, they come to find that she's in the playhouse, and people are very happy because it is a lucky place high on the ground. And when she was asked to come here, she refuses to come. Later, Jim, he goes there and he accompanies Sarah, and Sarah wanted the experience to be repeated again, where she says, "Hello everybody, that was fun. Write some more, please, Jim." So she requests Jim to write some more, because she wanted to enjoy the scene again. But Jim, he says, "No, I can't." And when they prepare for the new clothes for Sarah and Jim, Jim says that Sarah is completely dry, and Jim, he himself is very wet. So they provides Ami's dad clothes to him. And when he says if there is any problem occurs, they have to swim. Ami is very bad. She feels bad that Sarah and Betty is not a good swimmer. So they wanted to put up something that is more effective. And Jim, he goes to the roof by having his flashlight. And he says that he can wave it, and if someone finds them, or if someone finds the light, they would have come back and they would have saved him. Ami, she started raising question. "Do you hope all this can happen? So do you think it will work on? Because there is no people in the main street, and also the houses are empty. How do you say so?" Jim, he says, "I'll bet you I can make it happen. So see what happens." Here the scene 1 ends and the curtain closes. After an hour later, that is scene 2 opens, and the timing seems to be after an hour later, and the setting seems to be the same place, where the girls, they stay in their living room, and Jim, he's in the roof. Sarah, she's fast asleep. Betty, she's trying to read in the candles, where she says, "I can't read by this light. How do you suppose our grandparents ever did?" So she started raising the question. "The light is very dim, so I can't read in it. How do our grandmothers, they read in this light? How is it possible alone for them?" Rose, she says that, no, they won't read. Actually, they'll wait for the darkness and they'll have a sleep. And Ami, she says that we have to go to the bed. It is almost 11, but the climate condition, the floods, they never allow me to sleep. Betty says it is for me too. And Rose, she says there is some noise. What is that noise? Betty, "Oh, come back. Let's stick here together. So please come back. I'm afraid. So let's stand together and face the obstacles. Where Jim he enters and he says that the battery is dead. And Jimmy says, so I don't know whether it is of use or not that I was lighting on the roof. But at present we have to be prepared and we have to take everything to the attic. So bring the food, water, etc. to gather in it in the attic. And later I'll do the carrying up the ladder on the roof. He says, I'll take everything to the roof by using the ladder, so you accompany me. Where Betty, she wanted to take her new spring coat, and Rose, she's waking her sister up, and Amy, she's preparing for her father's valuable books and mother's jewel case. And Jim, he was very much angry when he comes to know about it, and he started scolding Amy, and he says, food and water seems to be our basic need at present, so you need not accompany these things. You can't eat and live with it. There enters a new character, Mr. Peters. So Mr. Peters is from the Red Cross and he wanted to help these children. When he comes in, he says he's from the Red Cross and he's accompanied by Miss Marshall, nurse, and they wanted to treat the person and they wanted to take them back in the boat. When they were hurry-burry in preparing, Sarah, she falls down and she's literally hurt in her leg. And she started shouting, she started screaming in pain, and the sound is very terrific. Where Miss Marshall, she prepares an first aid kit, that is she arranges for the blanket, umbrella, by using all the home needs. She is preparing Sarah to the better state. And also Sarah, she keeps on saying that it's my leg that hurts, so my leg is hurting, I can't do anything, it is paining badly. And by the nurse Sarah comes to know that her leg was little hurt badly and it has to be fixed in the correct position. And Mr. Peters, he requests Jim and Amy to stay back and they'll be accompanied for the second time, or Mr. Peters will send some other boat in order to get them back. And Mr. Peters, he offers extra lantern and a jar of coffee, and there was a silent calmness where Jim says that okay, I'll arrange, I will be safe here. And Sarah, she's drowsingly, she says, Miss Marsh gave me something to stop the hurt, it has almost gone. So she says she's given an antiseptic medicine which is literally like a painkiller. She expresses that in that way, and Ami says that that's fine, so we can go for a nice boat ride. And after everyone leaves, Jim, he pours the coffee in the 2 cup and he offers 1 cup to Ami by saying that he's very much glad that they have a wide awake, well equipped disaster committee in this town. And also Ami, she's very much happy for the Red Cross nurse who had helped them for the emergency. And they thank God for all these rescue and they have their coffee, the curtain closes. So the drama ends as Red Cross committee performing his duty in the best manner in the town. So here I conclude my video, and once again I tell you, if you want this particular post to be in Tamil, please do refer our description for the link. If you are not a subscriber, please do subscribe our channel and get further more updates. Thank you.